coming off the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, with Rumble winner Undertaker making surprise appearances on Raw and ECW to tease him going after either Cena and Lashley in the WrestleMania title match. SmackDown on February 2nd was built on the third champion Batista calling out Taker for the answer in a segment heavily hyped for almost 2 hours, seeing the broadcast having major viewership growth from start to finish, to go from 4.8 in the first hour to 5.4 million viewers in the second, building to a massive final quarter which saw Batista's challenge to Taker instead bringing out Cena for a rare SmackDown appearance, with both top champions in the company looking for Taker's answer, followed up by Taker, Shawn Michaels and eventually Vince McMahon, all coming out with the segment jumping big to peak the night with a 3.7 rating and over 6 million viewers, while in the process driving SmackDown overall to a CW network record audience, with the first full broadcast to cross over the 5 million viewers mark, ending up with Vince booking the No Way Out main event tag match along with setting up a big Taker decision segment to open Raw next Monday. Continuing the gradual build to the first Trump vs. McMahon confrontation, Vince McMahon walked to the ring midway through Raw's first hour to read a response letter to Trump, which included him noting that Trump's Apprentice show would do better numbers if he made a guest appearance, with him carrying Raw ratings to the top of the cable TV charts for the past 15 years, bringing out Cena to question Vince's recent Trump obsession with comparisons of their public personas in a segment drawing a first-hour high 4.3 rating. Setting up McMahon after an attempt by Coach to respond on his behalf, booking Cena vs. Coachman for the top of the hour quarter, turning it into a Rumble preview with Cena going through a Rumble gauntlet match before being taken out by Umaga in the final heat angle for the last man standing title match on Sunday, seeing the quarter picking Raw back up to a 4.3 rating, with both segments combined gaining over 1 million viewers to the two most watched full quarters of the night. Promoted as a WrestleMania reversal concept of Michaels and Cena each facing their previous Mania opponents in the top 2 matches of the night, Raw in the buffer week for the pay-per-view build-up between the heavily hyped show the previous week to next Monday's planned loaded go-home show saw the broadcast overall, after the hot run of the past 2 months, falling slightly below the 5 million viewers range for the first time since January 9th. And after seeing the originally advertised Michaels vs. JBL match turning into a promo segment in the opening quarter, headlining Raw on the night, with Chris Benoit vs. John Cena going 6 minutes in the main event, starting at 10:56 p.m. in the final quarter past the top of the hour, with the second half of the Cena vs. Benoit match along with the post-match Michaels angle and JBL announcement of the double headliner for next Monday, picking up strong with almost 1 million viewers in the 4-minute overrun to peak the show at a 4.5 rating with over 6.1 million viewers. With Raw numbers taking a significant hit since the Benoit tragedy, with by far the lowest rated string of shows since the return to the USA Network, the company, in hopes of reversing the potentially worrying pattern, pulled its biggest drawing card on August 6 by heavily hyping Vince McMahon's TV return in the lead-up to Monday night, seeing McMahon outside of the out-of-character appearances addressing the tragedy on June 25 to 26, making his first appearance since the limousine explosion to blow it off and kick off another major Vince angle to pick interest back up on Raw. Seeing the broadcast with Vince featured all over the 2 hours, spiking big on the recent average with major viewership growth throughout, averaging 5.3 million viewers in the highest rated and most watched Raw since the Benoit tribute show on June 25. And after the already strong opening for the McMahon promo addressing the audience and talent roster, seeing the second biggest jump of the night coming at the top of the hour with Cena as a guest on Carlito's Cabana interview segment to set up the Cena vs. Umaga main event, leading to the show peaking big in the overrun, featuring the end of the match and mostly the final Vince segment that saw him reenacting the talked-about limousine explosion angle to end Raw, with another bomb of Coach delivering the news of a McMahon illegitimate child in hopes of the storyline spiking back viewership, with McMahon back full-time on television, getting a good sign on the night, with the segment gaining over 1 million viewers to peak at a 4.4 rating with over 6.1 million viewers in Raw's most watched segment in over a month. Driven by the return of Vince McMahon the previous week, Raw, coming from Madison Square Garden, maintained the boost with a second straight 3.8 rating on August 13th, building the show outside the follow-up of the new McMahon storyline on the final stage of the SummerSlam pay-per-view build-up, with Cena and Umaga teaming for the first time against Carlito and Orton in the main event, going 14 minutes with a gain of over 800,000 viewers to peak the night with another 4.4 overrun rating, seeing Cena getting the expected massive heat from the New York crowd 2 weeks to the first Orton vs. Cena pay-per-view match, resulting in the show maintaining the increase in viewership of the previous week, and a strong sign of interest in the McMahon storyline and the SummerSlam pay-per-view, with the broadcast slightly topping both the overall and peak viewership with over 5.3 and 6.1 million viewers. One of the most hyped Raw shows in years, with a loaded star power crew featuring Rock, Austin, McMahon, Trump and Foley all appearing throughout the night, saw the build-up to the Cena vs. Michaels WWE title match continuing second from the top to the Battle of the Billionaires contract signing, with Cena and Michaels opening the broadcast in a segment to set up their match for later tonight, being placed minutes after Rock made his first appearance on WWE television in almost 3 years to bump up their building, with Cena and Michaels opening Raw's second hour in a three-team gauntlet tag titles match, running over 2 quarters from 9:50 to 10:15 p.m., with all 3 matches going 11 minutes in total to gain over 800,000 viewers into the 6 million viewers range with a 4.3 rating, continuing the Michaels-Cena tension, with them one-upping each other throughout while retaining the tag titles 2 weeks to WrestleMania 23. Kicking off the road to WrestleMania 23 24 hours after the Rumble pay-per-view, which saw Undertaker winning the Rumble match to all but officially set up the years-in-the-making SmackDown main event of Taker vs. Batista, the build to the WWE title match started on Raw, with Michaels and Cena starting the hype to the Raw title match, with the added twist of McMahon booking them to team up against Edge and Orton for the tag titles, seeing the rated RKO vs. Michaels feud continuing the string of massive numbers, with Michaels and Cena vs. Orton and Edge in the main event going over 15 minutes through the last commercial break in the final quarter past 11 p.m., gaining over 800,000 viewers throughout to peak at a 4.8 rating with 6.3 million viewers, making it, along with the Michaels vs. Edge and Orton handicap match on January 15th, the joint highest rated segment on WWE television in 5 months, with the show overall ending with Michaels and Cena winning the tag titles, followed by a surprise Taker appearance also drawing a 4.2 rating and the highest rated Raw since August 2006. Looking to follow up on the most watched Raw broadcast in nearly 5 years, March 5th outside the headline segment of the night with the official reveal of the guest referee in the Battle of the Billionaires match, saw the company promoting a double main event days in advance of Michaels vs. Orton and Edge vs. Cena, placed to open and close the show in the first and final quarters, setting up a show-long angle building up the potential turn of either Cena and Michaels, with both interfering in each other's matches, first with Cena running in post Orton vs. Michaels, followed by the closing segment coming 30 minutes after another near 5-year peak viewership for the referee reveal, seeing the advertised Cena vs. Edge main event promoted for the past 2 hours ending up in a bait and switch, with Johnny Nitro replacing Edge minutes from the match, with Cena vs. Nitro along with the show closing angle of Michaels running in for the save, gaining over 800,000 viewers in the 5-minute overrun to close the show at a 4.5 rating with over 6.3 million viewers. John Cena opened Raw a day after retaining the title at the One Night Stand pay-per-view by being the first person to pin Great Khali in an official match in the company, recapping the past 2 months to blow off the feud before bringing out Vince McMahon to the ring, with Vince after dropping the ECW title to Lashley to also end the McMahon vs. Lashley feud, shifting the focus to Raw's new direction to set up the big storyline heading into the summer, coming out in a different demeanor to book Cena in a 3-way title match against both Khali and Umaga for the main event, seeing the broadcast showing strong growth throughout, including the full second hour driven by the 3-way title match hitting over 5.7 million viewers in the most watched hour of Raw since the day after WrestleMania 23, peaking big for the main event with the unique visual of Umaga and Kali challenging for the title, seeing the match spiking over 1.1 million viewers to a 4.6 rating with over 6.4 million viewers in one of the most watched main event segments of the year. With the company heating up on the road to WrestleMania 23 with massive mainstream publicity not seen in years during the week following the official announcement of the Battle of the Billionaires hair match. Following up last Friday's SmackDown going off the air with its biggest ever audience on the Friday night opening Raw built on Trump picking his WrestleMania representative with one of the biggest opening viewerships since the final stages of the boom period in the first quarter of 2002, drawing a 4.2 rating with over 6 million viewers, featuring Cena, Michaels, Edge and Orton setting up the top match of the night with a rematch for the tag titles, with the show after hitting near 5-year high viewership milestones throughout the night, with the first full Raw to average over 6 million viewers since the first show under the WWE name in May 2002, seeing Michaels and Cena vs Orton and Edge kicking off at 10:45 p.m. to go over 15 minutes over the full final quarter and 4-minute overrun, gaining over 500,000 viewers for the duration of the main event to close the show at the 6.5 million viewers range.